So first, we'll start with a little bit about me. Brian Walters, VP of Software Engineering at Sangoma. I've been involved with FreePBX since 2007. I actually joined Schmooze in 2009 and became a core FreePBX developer. And in 2015, Schmooze was acquired by Sangoma. Twitter handle's up there at GameGamer43 if anybody wants to follow me on Twitter or tweet at me anything. Go ahead, Andrew. So quick show of hands from FreePBX. When did you guys start using FreePBX? For some of you that don't know, FreePBX was started in 2004. So quick show of hands. Between 2004 and 2006, did any of you guys start using FreePBX? Okay. 2006 to 2009. No. 2009 to 2015? Okay. And then 2015 to today. Anybody recent? Okay, good. So what we're going to go through in this talk is a little bit of history on FreePBX, a little bit of history on mobile, and then a little bit as to how we're making FreePBX work for mobile in today's world. All right, so the FreePBX evolution, as most of you probably already know, AMP, the Asterisk Management Portal, was released in 2005. That was roughly 5 years after Asterisk was released. It was the first mainstream GUI resulting in explosive adoption. If you look at that screenshot, like this is the original AMP screen. It was one page, very little features compared to what you guys are used to today. Okay, go ahead, Andrew. All right. AMP later became known as FreePBX. This is because it was the Asterisk Management Portal, and we didn't want to get it confused with Asterisk. So we renamed it to FreePBX. In 2006, it got a modular design that you know today. This allows us to update modules on an individual basis. It allows us to have different parts of the code come from different pieces of the software, right? And FreePBX really stands for the freedom to choose, right? In your freedom of choice here. In 2007, just to show of hands again, how many of you guys in 2007 were using FreePBX? Just to get an idea? Okay. So you guys probably remember the leap that we went from mainstream to hobby and kind of the GUI changes that we went through, correct? We went through kind of a very minimalistic GUI to a lot more on the dashboard and a lot more modules. Okay, Andrew? In 2012, we slowly started to move the GUI from things that you were used to into kind of where we started to take it today, right? Before this, we had the sidebar on the left-hand menu. We started moving everything to the top of the screen. The reason was that sidebar was getting so long and causing issues for other things that we wanted to go ahead and design for. So by moving everything to the top, we were really able to go ahead and make it, get more real estate space for the things that you cared about, such as your configuration. In 2015, we kind of did the last big change for FreePBX. We moved it into, let me rephrase. We took a lot of the pages where it was just a very long page that just continued on forever. And most of you guys probably remember this, where you'd have these settings and you just scroll down and scroll down and scroll down. And we moved it into tabs so you can find the information easier, which makes it easier to configure, easier to find, and really started kind of becoming more mobile friendly because we could go ahead and change that into something that the mobile browser could go ahead and understand. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about mobile. All right. In 1994, right, how many people remember cell phones back in the 90s, right? So in 94, the Motorola bag phone was the car phone to have, even with the smaller cell phones, right? And it was because of the range, the talk time, and the battery life, right? So in 1995, Motorola revealed the Startac, right? Did anyone have a Startac? What about the bag phone prior to that? Okay. Right? And the main thing that Startac had was it folded in half. Clamshell phone, really flip phone, right? A little bit different than what we're used to today from a flip phone, but really what started it. Right? And in 2007, mobile kind of changed, right? Mobile changed with the introduction of the Apple iPhone because, go ahead, Andrew. When it was released on June 27th, it didn't use WAP, right? It didn't use a wireless application protocol. It had a full HTML browser and email client in it, right? It also did not have any physical keys. Completely touchscreen. I remember having one and thinking it was ahead of its time and going right back to a BlackBerry because I liked my keyboard. I don't know about anyone else. And that's changed over the years, right? Go ahead, Andrew. In 2008, shortly after that, Google released Android. Between this room, show of hands, how many people are using an iPhone? Okay. Android. Okay. So in 2008, when Google released its first phone, it made a little bit different of a bet, right? It kind of started out with a keyboard with the HTC Dream, full QWERTY keyboard, HTML web browser, Gmail, YouTube, part of that Google ecosystem that we're used to today. So that really started in 2007, 2008. We really started to see Apple and Google, right, kind of take over the mobile ecosystems, right? And it was a slow growth, but it's kind of exploded, right? Today, a lot of us use our cell phones for things that normally we'd have to go to a computer for and have to be stationary for, right? Go ahead, Andrew. Sorry. So what does this have to do with FreePBX, right? Before going into kind of what does it have to do with FreePBX, just a show of hands for everybody that uses FreePBX, how many of you actually use your cell phones for configuration or when you have a problem that you have to solve in a pinch? Anyone? Okay. So with that, when you guys are using it, you're using newer versions, I'm assuming, of FreePBX, updated versions, which have mobile built in and much easier to work with. Okay. Great. So as more and more users adopted phones with an internet browser, right, we began to work differently. You guys kind of just told me that in a pinch, you guys are using your phones when solving problems with FreePBX, right? Apple released the App Store shortly after. Before 2008, everything was web. Web was all there was. There really wasn't this concept of an App Store on phones in the traditional sense of what we know today, right? Apple released its iOS App Store on July 10th, and all of a sudden, apps started filling up our mobile devices. I'll be the first one to say I have a lot of apps on my phone, and they're all very specialized, right? It's not one size fits all. But we all work differently, and apps kind of fill that void, right? Things that you've needed to use a computer to do previously could start being done right from our mobile phone, right? So we're going to fast forward now to 2013, 2014. And really, the feedback that we got from you guys in the community was that you wanted a more mobile-friendly FreePBX, right? So in 2014, the FreePBX team, Andrew, Jason, James, myself, and others, started to work on FreePBX 13, right? And that was all based on your feedback to go ahead and become more mobile-friendly. So does anyone remember some of the things from various FreePBX releases like 13? So a recap of FreePBX 13, and I went and pulled this off of the FreePBX blog, was we did a new grid design which enabled easier mobile navigation administration. Right? This is that top menu bar, but it would fold into a little hot dog menu. Right? Past problems that we had that kind of made some of these design decisions was that menu selections was too long for your browser. So when you'd be on mobile, you'd be missing options that you wouldn't be able to get to no matter what you did. Right? So now we addressed it with kind of scrollable menu bars that you could easily navigate, as well as a new search box so that you can search in the modules for exactly what you're looking for. Okay? No, go back, sorry. We also did a quick create for extensions so that when you're on your mobile, you don't have to go through and answer all of these questions and scroll to the bottom of a very long page just to go ahead and get an extension up and running for somebody. So we made it very easy with just the basic information that you enter to go ahead and continue. We also, in FreePBX 13, did a new bulk manager. Also feedback that we got from you guys was that you guys wanted ways to do things more in bulk, whether it's editing extensions, uploading them, or even DIDs that you're getting from your providers. And lastly, we depreciated AMP Portal in favor of a new FW console CLI command that allowed us to be more modular and do more hooks from different modules themselves rather than having one file do all of the heavy lifting. All right, so just some screenshots here of some of the things from FreePBX 13. You'll see that the bar across the top changed. You'll see that the FW console command, you can actually see in module admin a list of all of the modules here rather than having to go to the module admin screen, as well as the incoming routes and kind of how we shorten some of those screens. Okay. The other thing that we started working on in FreePBX 13 was really a new user control panel. If you've used FreePBX for a while, you guys are aware of the FreePBX * recording interface that was previously used by users. It was older code, not easy to maintain, but also wasn't really something that we could lay the groundwork with to be more mobile friendly. Right? So with the user control panel, it was built from the ground up for your users and to be mobile friendly so that they could have access to their information, such as turning on Do Not Disturb, Follow Me, call forwarding, all from their mobile phone, regardless of where they were. Right? And it was built to be accessible by your users when they need it the most, which is when they're on the road and traveling and not right in front of the computer. Right? But more importantly, FreePBX 13 development, for any of you guys that have followed our Twitter, our blogs, it was fueled by delicious Tim Tams, as you can see there. Right? Obviously need good food to kind of move forward with any type of development. But that's only part of what you guys have said that you wanted, right? Continue on, Andrew. As mobile adoption's grown repeatedly, you've kind of told us that the mobile experience is great, but you still want an app. You still want something that could go ahead and take up that spot on your phone that can do the things such as being a soft phone, such as chatting, such as handling your presence. Got it, Andrew? So in 2007, we got the feedback. We heard exactly what you wanted, and we began working on mobile applications. All right? For anyone that doesn't already know and didn't check, when they came in, you should have an orange piece of paper in your bag. When you registered, sorry. Those orange pieces of papers actually have a QR code, a username, a password, and a server for Zulu, right? In 2017, Zulu is what we began working on, and it's our unified communications application for FreePBX. This allows you to do a soft phone, chat, presence, call history. There's other features coming later, but that's what it currently has now that you guys can all play with. So let's talk a little bit about Zulu Mobile, right? Unlike other mobile applications, Zulu Mobile has unparalleled FreePBX integration. This isn't something that you can get with a third-party soft phone because they don't know the internals of how FreePBX works like we do, right? You get a soft phone so you can make and receive calls. You can see your phone's call history, right? And it's not just your phone, it's not just a soft phone, right? It's also you're seeing anything that's coming to your desk phone as well, right? On iOS, they have a feature called Call Kit, which allows us to make incoming calls look just like you were getting a normal call through your mobile carrier, right? Android has something similar, and while we're working on that, that's not there yet. And then also, the other thing that you get here is push notifications. So push notifications, how many of you guys have used old soft phones that always have to remain open in the background in order for you to receive calls? Show of hands. Okay. With Zulu, it's a little bit different. When you put the application in the background, the application actually does suspend. It is not running anymore. It's not eating up your battery. If you're on iOS, which I know the best, if you double-click, you can actually see the application there, but it's not running. It's just showing you what it looked like before, right? One of the things that we do differently is that when you get a call in FreePBX, we actually go ahead and send a push notification from your PBX to our server that then goes ahead and wakes up the device. That device, when it wakes up, will then go ahead and say, hey, this is an incoming call. That's the screen that I need to show them. And we'll show you that incoming call coming in. This goes ahead and gives you much better battery life than on a traditional soft phone. Okay. Back one more, sorry. The other thing with Zulu that you get is you get chat. And chat's integrated with FreePBX. So the same chat that you go ahead and access in user control panel is the same thing that you can go ahead and chat with Zulu on the desktop and Zulu on the mobile. Okay? And lastly, you get contacts integration. So unlike other soft phone apps, we're not taking your contacts and uploading them to a central server. We'll show you your contacts on your phone, but we'll also show you your contacts in FreePBX as well if you have any phone books or contacts set up there. So just a quick little recap of Zulu Mobile. We began development in 2017. We released the first private beta in 2018. And we've been in public beta since August of 2018. And we're still currently in public beta, so everything that you guys are using on the mobile side today is public beta. So if you have feedback, please come and find us and tell us your experiences. So, show of hands here, whether you started at this conference or before, are any of you guys using Zulu, whether it's on the desktop or on mobile? Okay. All right. All right, so I wanted to go ahead and highlight a couple screenshots, and then we'll go ahead and give a quick demo of Zulu Mobile here in just a moment. So here you can kind of see your call notification, or I'm sorry, your call history and your dialer on Zulu. So Zulu itself is a commercial module, the server side, and I'll get into the technology here in just a moment as to how we built Zulu Mobile, which is a little bit different of a software, but it is commercial. Yes, correct. Yep. So Zulu Mobile, you also have contact info, so anybody in your contact list from the PBX will have their internal extension, could have their work number, and could have their home number as well. It has chat, so chats actually you can send video, file uploads, attach things as well. So it's no different than, if you're chatting today in, I'd say AIM, but that's gone. Any other chat client today. So OEM branding, that's a really good question. Currently, no, but it is something that we're thinking about. So if it's something that you're interested in, please talk to our sales team, because it is something that's possible. It's just not something that we've done yet today. All right, so I'm going to have Andrew go ahead and, we can do it on yours, that's fine. I'm going to have Andrew go ahead and bring up a live version of Zulu. Yep. All right. So quick demo of Zulu. I'm going to go ahead and, why don't you close it, Andrew, and then I'll make a call to you. Yep. Let's see if this works. Let's see here. So, there you go. So Andrew's getting the call from Zulu right here on the Wi-Fi network here at this hotel, by the way. So I am on the Wi-Fi. I'm able to go ahead and talk with Andrew and say hello. We have audio, or it would show that we'd have connectivity issues. Hello? So you can see that Andrew has audio. All right. So some of the things that you're able to do, just like, I'll go ahead and kill the call for a minute. Yep. So some of the things that you can do, just like normal soft phone, you can go ahead and use your dial pad if you have in an IVR. You can mute the call, place the call on hold, end the call. Yep. So Andrew, why don't you go ahead and click on calls? Oh, you have the new version too. So you can see the call list of everybody that's called him, if it's been missed, if it's been answered, the duration of the call, what account it's come through as well. Zulu Mobile also allows, if you have other customers that you are supporting on Zulu, Zulu Mobile and Zulu Desktop allow for multiple accounts. So you don't need to go ahead and remove your account to go ahead and add another account to be able to support your customers. All right, chats. I'm going to go ahead and send you a chat real quick here, Andrew. Yep. So you'll see here too, with our interaction screen, you'll see that today I've called Andrew, how long the call was, sent him a message just like chat. You will also get push notifications as well if you don't have the app open for chat, so that you're always kind of connected with your team.
Sending you a picture of my dog.
All right. And I know you guys can't see, but I can see Andrew's dog that he sent me up here. Yep. So Zulu Mobile is actually written with a couple different technologies, and I'll go through those today. We actually chose to use React Native instead of Swift and Java or Objective-C. The calling side of it is actually all using WebRTC instead of SIP, and also using, what else are we using? We're also using, so there's WebRTC, SIP.js, and React Native are all built into Zulu Mobile. And that allows us to go ahead and share a as common as possible code base between both Android and iOS and really speed up the development. Okay. So that's what I have here as to how we're moving FreePBX into a mobile world, not only by focusing on the admin and the user control panel that you guys are used to today, but really taking it a step further with mobile applications that you guys have asked for, and bring the features that you've asked for from the PBX into your mobile phones. So with that, I'll go ahead and open it up for any questions that you guys may have.
Wait a second.
Oh, yep. Sorry, Simon.
Thank you. So on the push notifications, how do you guys handle that as far as security goes?
Yep.
The reason why I'm asking is we've used Groundwire before. I believe they're a Russian company, and reading through the code base, part of the stuff they do is they actually require connection to your system so that they can actually have access to your credentials. So to me, that's kind of a security hole.
Yep, agreed, and I've seen that from similar providers. That's not something that we do. The first thing that we think about first is security. With Zulu, when the device registers, the token for the device for push notifications actually goes to your PBX. We don't have that until your PBX tells us that it has a push notification to send. At which point, your PBX sends a message to one of our API servers sitting out in the cloud, and we go ahead and send that information to Google and Apple. So we're not actually on the account. We're not registered to your account. You're telling us the information that you want us to send to Apple and Google.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any more questions? Yep, one at the back. Let me guess, there's going to be one at the front after that.
Yeah.
How are you controlling like logging? For example, you could log in as the same account as his and see his chat or something like this.
Yeah, so Zulu utilizes PJSIP and its multiple contacts so that even though you have an extension number, you can have multiple people logging in to the same account. And it'll all of those devices will go ahead and get the same information from the server.
Oh, hang on.
1 second, I'll wait for Simon to get over there, and then you can repeat, and I'll gladly answer that.
Are you planning to add video to that application so you can have a video call between the two Zulus or whatever?
Yep. So Zulu has a desktop app as well that works on on Mac, Windows, and Linux as well. Currently in Zulu, we have a screen sharing feature in beta. That's on the desktop, that's not on mobile. That's laying the groundwork for a lot of video things that we know that you guys want. So it's currently not available to do video calls, but it is something we're thinking about and it is something that we're working on. Yes, if the question was, is the desktop app commercial as well? Yes, it is.
I've got a question, Brian, if there's no more.
Sure.
You mentioned the push notification. You need to hold the device, hold the invite until the app wakes up and registers. Are you doing that on
Yes,
the
we are.
FreePBX side, or are you doing that in a third-party proxy?
Nope, it's in the FreePBX Astra side, where we're going ahead and holding back the invite, waiting for the device to come back and tell Astra that it's ready for it and sending it off.
Okay, perfect. Any more questions? Yes, one at the front. Bear with me.
Is there any interaction with the phone book of the mobile phone?
Yep, so the question is if there's any interaction with the phone book on the mobile phone. If you install the app, we will request access to your contacts. They do not get uploaded. The only thing that it is used for is for reading them to be able to show you in Zulu so that you can use Zulu to call your phone's contacts. but you will also see a mix of both your phone's contacts as well as any of them that you have in Contact Manager on FreePBX.
Okay, Brian, thank you very much. Let's
Thank
give
you.
Brian a hand of